Hey guys, Adversary here. With the Grand Prix featuring Kikowani Station this week and there not being too much for a tutorial for this level around, I figured it would be a good time to get one out there that covers most of what's going on in the level, as it can be a bit annoying. So there's a weird mechanic at the very start of the mission where you want to hold diagonal up and to the left and press jump while you're still in the pre-level black screen. So now you can time this with either a number of A presses to skip the cutscene and or looking at the timer in the top right. A strategy that I think works for many people is to hold the diagonal and wait about half a second after the mission timer appears to jump. If you jump too early or too late, or you're not holding the right direction, you can easily bonk on the jump up. You can opt to wait until the black screen goes away to do the jump, but it will likely throw off the timing for the next section, so I just suggest to get good, six head. Before getting to the first and only gun combat of the mission, I do a nade jump down the stairs as I want to get down here as quickly as possible. I'm just going to use this part of the video to ramble about how this section works. You want to kill the enemies I do as quickly as possible, and it can force Mickey to teleport down to you and trigger his dialogue early to progress in this mission, but it can be really picky. The first pathing I showed doesn't pick up a plasma pistol to EMP the Banshee, as ultimately it isn't completely necessary to teleport Mickey, but it really helps. And you can see me melee Mickey a little bit there to try to get him to the Phantom a little bit earlier. What I found is this, pretty much. If you EMP the Banshee, kill the 3 grunts on the left, and kill the jackals to the right, you should get Mickey teleport the majority of the time, even with the brute alive. So prioritize the jackals over the brute if you have to. If there's more than one enemy alive on the right, he will almost never teleport. If you don't EMP the Banshee, you're going to want to kill everything, including the brute ideally, which can be tricky if he's not on the turret. And doing the EMP strategy will also teleport Mickey a few seconds faster on average. But if you do everything right, sometimes Mickey will teleport to the platform up top, which loses about 6 seconds, or he won't teleport at all, and we're not really sure why. If you kill them too slow, it won't teleport in most times, and sometimes the Banshee can live even if you EMP it, which really hurts the chances of the teleport. Moral of the story is pretty much that Mickey's a dumbass and he sucks, which I guess is consistent with the lore. Also, I forgot to include the safe guaranteed route for Mickey teleport. If you fail to teleport Mickey early, you can walk forward to grab the Banshee and fly to the far door to teleport him. It's a slow method, but it should be 100% consistent. So next we'll fly to said door, as flying here before going backwards deloads the enemies you see here. You have to fly fairly close to the door for it to work. If you don't fly here before flying back to the start to deload the enemies, the Phantom will waste time trying to kill them before opening the next door. So for the next trick, we'll force Romeo to get into the Phantom early by Banshee bombing him. I don't have an exact lineup and the positioning isn't super specific, but I generally line the nose of my Banshee up with the tile above the stairs and aim as far down as I can. Also the tile that's next to Romeo, as you see. It should force him to go to the Phantom immediately when you Banshee bomb him after he stands up completely. If he walks to the Phantom or tries to go up to the Phantom and teleports back down to the ground and stands still, then you either timed or placed the Banshee bomb incorrectly. You can also nudge Dutch with the Banshee to make him go up to the Phantom a little faster as well. After getting out of this first area, we have some Banshee flying to the beloved RNG Door, which is a door that opens at various times because of Mickey's seemingly completely random Phantom pathing. There's been a few different strategies of killing things in the area, but personally I haven't found any sort of correlation with making RNG Door open faster. So I just encourage shooting the squid tower on the left, as you just saw, flying to the next door, opening it, and shooting the squid tower and Phantom in that area as well. If you look at Hark's current world record in my PV, they take different strategies in terms of what you kill and what you don't kill, but ultimately end up at about the same speed for RNG Door to open. Before talking about barrel launch, I thought this was a good section to talk about Banshee eject timing. As you can see here, at first I get out too late, so not only do I get out later and have to walk further to the door, but the Banshee also partially splatters me here. So generally, I hold back on the left thumbstick and immediately press the button to get out of the Banshee right as I fly over these Covenant barriers, or right before I fly over them. And then holding back as well can help ensure that you don't carry your momentum from the Banshee and crash into the door. Okay, so barrel launch is a combination of two things, where the plasma barrel is and how you line yourself up with a crate. The barrel doesn't have to move much at all. You can even push it slightly with your body for a decent launch, but if you want to go fast, you need to use the brute shot to set up the barrel. I don't have an exact aiming point for the brute shot as there isn't much of an indicator on the surface to shoot, but I try to shoot so that the barrel doesn't move to the right too much. It doesn't matter if the barrel ends up upright or on its side, but I've had more success when it's still upright. Oftentimes when I've messed this up, I shot the brute shot too close to the plasma battery and it rolls around or gets too close to the crate, and then I go off in a little bit of a different direction, as you can see here. I throw the grenade just behind the crate, but it can work another foot or so farther back than that. The other half of this trick is setting yourself up against the crate. My strategy is to walk in front of the crate and line myself up roughly in the middle while facing the direction I want to go, but I've also seen some people turn to face the crate before the launch, which can work as well. Whatever way you're facing, you need to make sure to hold in the direction of the crate and jump just before the nade explodes. That helps the crate push you some extra distance. But you also want to make sure that you're lining yourself up roughly in the middle of the crate, as being too much on one side or the other can also push you in that direction. The last trick is a smaller barrel launch, and there's two ways to go about it. The faster, more aggressive way is to throw a frag before the barrel and jump, but there's also a safer method of jumping on top of the barrel and to brute shot and jump backwards. You can see here that the Banshee got pushed a bit by the Scarab shot, but there's not much you can do about the Scarab. Most of the time it doesn't shoot the Banshee at all. So with that, we fly to the end of the level. Try to go through the left door as it's faster, even though I choked and went to the right. And once you get inside, shoot the squid tower at the other end 3 times, and that's it. That's Kikowani Station done in 1905, the fastest time ever done in a tutorial.